As he came to the party still thinking about that, he found Hee-Ju's mom taking her away, and he followed them. He heard their conversation and found that Hee-Ju doesn't speak in front of her mom either. When her mom came out, he started escorting her to the party, asking about Hee-Ju's mutism. She told her that it was because of a shock, and Se-eon told her that a shock should not last for 20 years. He then told the woman to not forget that Hee-Ju is his wife and asked her to treat her with more care. He then returned to the party and saw Hee-Ju leaving, so he followed her but got held back by his father-in-law and then got the call from the kidnapper's number. As they kept talking, he arrived at the rooftop, and the story returns to the present. Hee-Ju hides her phone immediately on seeing him, and she stumbles as she tries to move back. Se-eon catches her and then yells at her for standing on the bench because it was risky. She suddenly gets a loud hiccup and realizes that her cover is about to be blown. Se-eon asks her why she was on a call when she can't speak and tells her to make a sound. He asks if he should force her, but he can't bring himself to do that. He suddenly gets a call from Jae, and Hee-Ju tries to get away from him, but he puts a coat around her and tells her to go down first. After that, he picks up Jae's call, who tells him that he traced the kidnapper's number to the hotel he is in, and that means that the kidnapper is really close to him. Se-eon suddenly starts doubting Hee-Ju, but he shakes that thought off his head. However, he fears that the kidnapper may try to harm Hee-Ju, so he follows her. Luckily, she is sitting safely in the party. Later, they return home, and Se-eon reminds Hee-Ju of the time she was almost bitten by a dog when they were kids, and she didn't let out a single scream. He asks how she could hold it back then and then says that he will wait to see how long she can keep acting to be mute. Later that night, neither of them can sleep. Se-eon imagines barging into Hee-Ju's room and asking her why she betrayed him for the last 20 years and telling her that she could have dropped the act after they got married, but he fears that she will shun him, saying that everyone has their secrets. This fear doesn't let him step out of his room. The next day, he can't focus on work, so he calls one of his married subordinates outside and asks if he and his wife keep secrets from each other. The man can only think of instances when his wife keeps emergency funds without telling him, and he says that every couple has some secrets, but they decide to not pry about them because it gives both of them some breathing room. He thinks that it will be hard for a perfectionist like Se-eon to let go of things, but he tells him that marriage takes effort. On the other hand, Hee-Ju and her friends at the Sign Language Center are waiting for the interview results, and when they heard that she passed, they are overjoyed. Hee-Ju is overwhelmed by her emotions, so her colleagues give her some time to inform her family. She decides to contact her dad, but then decides to text Se-eon first. However, she can't come up with what to write and accidentally sends a heart eyes emoji that Se-eon reads immediately. His mind is blown by that, so he decides to cancel the welcome dinner for the new sign language interpreters and instead tells his staff to book a 2-day retreat for the weekend. He, too, gets confused about what to reply, so he just congratulates Hee-Ju on passing, and she feels better after reading his message. Later, he goes to have lunch in a restaurant with his team, but his entire focus is on his phone, replying to Hee-Ju's texts. He then asks his team what gift he should give someone who has got a new job, and Jae gives the best idea by saying that he should gift them a work suit. Se-eon sends Hee-Ju a text, calling her to a luxury showroom after work. Hee-Ju goes there and the attendant there shows her some suits, and coincidentally, her sister Ina also comes to the same store, but their paths don't cross. Se-eon comes there right in time to make the purchase and then tells Hee-Ju to try a fancy dress, but he refuses, saying that it is not her style. However, he spots a dress in the window of a store outside, and Hee-Ju seems to like it too. While she tries the dress, Se-eon gets a call from Jae, who tells him that they managed to decode the modulated voice a bit, and it turns out that the kidnapper is actually a woman. Se-eon can't believe this and tells him to keep digging, but when Hee-Ju comes there wearing the dress, he forgets about the call. He tells her that she looks pretty and that she should have more confidence in herself. They keep staring at each other, and Ina coincidentally watches everything from the window. After that, they decide to eat dinner at some cheap restaurant instead of going somewhere fancy when suddenly Sang-woo texts Hee-Ju, congratulating her for her new job. He invites her over for drinks with him and Yuri. Hee-Ju wants to refuse, but Se-eon says that she should go but with him. Soon the four of them gather for drinks, and after congratulating Hee-Ju, Sang-woo immediately gets hostile towards Se-eon. He asks what they are doing together, but Hee-Ju steps in and says that he should focus on congratulating her. Sang-woo says that becoming the interpreter for the presidential office is a big achievement, but her original goal was to become a news anchor. However, that gets the two men to become confrontational again. Hee-Ju has to stop them yet again. She tells both of them that her original dream was to be a news anchor, but she is happy with the new job now and then leaves the room frustrated. Outside, she gets a text from her sister that throws her off her game. Since she doesn't return soon, Seon goes to check on her.